Today I'm going to show you how to get the best graphics and performance that you can get in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. We all know that in the sim we're CPU limited, and Asobo has done a good job in 2024 of balancing out that issue. You can see my CPU cores on the screen. What is generally the issue is that your CPU is maxed out, it's at its limit, but your GPU has a lot of unused performance. Most people, what they do to try to fix this is they try to get better performance by lowering their settings, but that doesn't fix the core issue. So what I'm doing right now is I'm running the sim at a higher resolution than my monitor is capable of. I have a 2K monitor. I'm running the sim right now at 4K, so theoretically that shouldn't work. But there's a combination of technologies that we can use to sort of trick the sim, so to speak, into giving this to us. And the great thing is using this technology, we can access the unused GPU potential that we have without pushing our CPUs any harder. So we're not exacerbating the problem that we already have. We're just working around it to get better visual quality at the same level of performance. What I'm doing right now is I'm using deep learning dynamic super resolution, DLDSR, and what that does is it upscales the image on your screen and then shrinks it down to fit on your monitor. DLSS does the opposite of DLDSR. It downscales the image and then stretches that downscaled image to fit your monitor. And what that does, it gives a lower rendering cost to your GPU, giving you better performance. So what I'm doing right now, I have DLDSR enabled, which is upscaling my image from my native 2K to 4K. Then I have DLSS enabled, which takes that DLDSR image, shrinks it down, uses AI to stretch it and fit my screen, and gives me some of that performance back. So what I have now is the same FPS, the same frame times, but a much higher resolution, clearer image with the same in-sim performance. Now let's do a quick comparison, and I want you to look at a few things in particular. This is TAA at my native 2440 2K resolution. Look at the buildings off in the distance on the skyline here. Look at the detail as you go along the main terminal. See how it starts getting really mushy back in here? You just can't really, you don't really see much of anything actually. And if you look down here at the baggage, not a whole lot of detail there. You can see, obviously different colors, but the level of detail just really isn't there. Now let's take a look at this with DLSS. Already you can see the buildings off in the distance are much cleaner, they're much clearer and sharper. In particular, the detail along the edge of the terminal building, you can see the individual windows, you can see the jetways nice and clearly. If you look down at the baggage here, you can see that's also a lot clearer. The details are a lot finer as well. But now let's take the real step up to DLSS plus DLDSR. So now you can see off in the distance, this is 4K DLDSR plus DLSS, and you can see my GPU is now running over 90%. The detail in the distance, the buildings are nice and crisp and sharp. All the details along the terminal, you can even see the jetways down here nice and crisp and sharp. The edges, the lines all look really good. And you can pick out now the individual bags down here along the baggage rack. Looks much sharper, as it should now with 4K. And you can see we're still in the green up here. So everything is really sharp. We're getting excellent visuals. Performance is still excellent. Now let's take a look at how to set this up. There are basically two ways of setting this up. One way is in the NVIDIA app. If you come here to graphics settings, this is a global setting. You can't set it per game or per program. If you come down here to DSR factors, Click on this and it's going to show you which options are available. Leave the legacy scaling off. These are old settings. You don't want to use that. You want to use the DL scaling up here at the top. I personally only use 2.25, which upscales my native 1440 to 2160. In other words, from 2K to 4K. But I also have the option of a less aggressive upscaling, which is 1.78. And what this is 1.778 times your native resolution. So this is 1.78 times 1440, giving us 1920, or 2.25 times 1440, giving us 2160 or 4K. You can select either or both. I would recommend selecting both. That gives you the option to choose between them in the sim. And then down here under DSR smoothness is actually sharpness. A higher percentage is going to give you a sharper image. 60 is the default number. I find that to be pretty good. Some people like 30. Try it at 60 and see how this looks. If it's too sharp or not sharp enough, you can adjust it later. So enable these two settings and then click apply. The other way to do it is in NVIDIA Control Panel, and you come in here into your manage 3D settings. And you come right here to DSR factors. It's the same thing. If you click on this, you have the options of 1.78 and 2.25. Enable those and click OK. And you can make your DSR smoothness adjustment here as well. So once you enable those, you're going to come down here and click apply, and you can go into the game, and I'll show you what settings to use in the game. So if you come here into the sim in your graphics settings, full screen resolution, my native resolution is 1440 2K. If you click on that now, you can see I've got two additional options, which are 1920 and 2160, which is 4K. Again, I don't have a 4K monitor. So this is the 1.78 option, but here is the 2.25 option, which is the one that I'm going to select. And once I click confirm, then that is going to upscale us to 2160. I'm just going to leave it here for a second on 1440 so that I can show you what you want to do. So you're going to want to go into your full screen resolution, set whatever the highest resolution you can get, and then confirm it. And then come here to DLSS, the anti-aliasing. And what I would recommend and what I normally run is DLSS quality. All right, so now we're here in Miami. We're in the Asobo Max, and you can see, I mean, performance is really, really good. And then we come outside, crystal clear detail in the distance all along here, all along the airport terminal. Looks absolutely fantastic, and we're getting awesome performance. Let's go take a quick flight here, and we'll see what this looks like in action. All right, here we are climbing out of Miami in my native 2K. You can see pretty decent performance, stable frame times, mid-30s, upper 30s FPS. Visuals look pretty clear. Now let's take a look at this in DLDSR DLSS 4K. Now here we are climbing out in 4K. This is basically the same spot. FPS performance is exactly the same. Frame times are actually a bit better. So we're actually getting better frame time performance at twice the resolution. This is where this really shines. Low and slow. We're here in St. Martin, Princess Juliana Airport, stock Asobo Airport, and Flight Sim 24. And we're in 4K. Look at how clear everything looks. Look at how sharp and detailed the hills are in the distance here. Just beautiful. And this setup is going to be absolutely mind-blowing for you compared to what you're used to seeing. Makes VFR flight a whole lot more interesting, I can tell you that. So what do you want to do if you're having some performance issues while using this? I'll show you how to tweak it to get the best performance for your system. My two recommendations would be this, in this order. If you have performance issues at your highest resolution, whatever that is, drop it down one to that 1.78. You're still going to get way better clarity, better visuals, but you're going to have less of a performance hit. The other thing I would recommend doing is drop from quality down to performance. Now, I've found in Flight Sim 24 with the new DLSS 4.5, I can run at DLSS performance. Looks almost as good as DLSS quality. You barely even notice the difference. So you can make those two changes to get your performance down to where it's, going to be a little bit better for you if you're having performance issues at whatever your highest resolution is. Better graphics, better performance, you can have that in Microsoft Flight Simulator using DLDSR and DLSS. Something I used extensively in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 with the DX12 updates and the performance streamlining they've done in Flight Sim 24. It's even better in this sim. And let me know what you think when you've tried it. Tell me how your performance is. And if you have any questions, comments, feedback, I look forward to hearing from you in the comment section below. And until then, we will talk soon.